You're listening to the Back Porch Talk podcast. Danny and Jason had many discussions and debates on the back porch while making pivotal investment moves with assets. That's right, with trading cards. They welcome you to the back porch and right into those discussions about current sports news with a fresh and unique twist. So come on and join us. Welcome to the Back Porch Talk podcast. I'm your co-host, Jason.
This is your co-host, Danny.
Fans, the NFL Championship Sunday was something else. Danny, right into the Philadelphia Eagles and Washington Commanders. Oh, boy. Right off the bat, man. As soon as the Eagles got the ball, their first offensive play was a 60-yard run by none other than Saquon Barkley. Saquon just destroys the Commanders, man. 15 rushes for 118 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts rushed the ball 10 times for 16 yards, but for 3 touchdowns. Got another rushing touchdown from Shipley. 7 rushing touchdowns in total. 1 passing touchdown by Jalen Hurts. Jalen goes 28, 246 yards. Commanders just fumbled this ball, man, literally and figuratively. There's way too many turnovers by the Commanders. Mm-hmm. You had an interception by Jaden Daniels. He hadn't turned the ball over, but that pick was pretty much almost like a Hail Mary, last-ditch effort, if you will. Just threw it up, hoping that his receivers can go up and get it. Too many fumbles, man. 3 fumbles in total. That not only did fumble, but they lost. 4 turnovers, and that was the difference in the game, man. I think the Commanders could have had a better showing if it was limited number of turnovers, and they were still in it in the first half. And it was 27-15 at halftime. Mm-hmm. Commanders was still in it. If they would have just, did some things in the second half, but man, you gotta give props what props to do. Eagles advanced to the Super Bowl, and this game to me, and this season to me, has just been marked by not only Saquon Barkley, but that offensive line, and what this offensive line really does for the offense, what it does for Jalen, what it does for Saquon. And so I'm going to be really interested to see how this offensive line dictates the game in the Super Bowl, Danny. What say you about this game, the Eagles against the Commanders?
Jason, one of those key turnovers, the Commanders were down 34-23 in the third quarter, and that's when Eckler fumbled the ball. Mm-hmm. And after that, it was a wrap, because then the Eagles went on to score 21 straight points after that. But that was their last-ditch effort to make it a game, because they were down 11. They were driving. They were still in their side of the field, but that was huge. Mm-hmm. And like we talked about last week, anytime in the playoffs, man, if there is a turnover differential, that's usually the reason the team loses. And the Commanders have been playing clean football over the last couple of weeks. They've been on a roll, and then for them to happen to them at this point in time is unfortunate for them. But they had a great season. Jaden Daniels was their leading rusher too, so that didn't help matters either on their side of the ball. Yeah, good on the Eagles. Good on Jalen Hurts. Him coming in with the knee injury, he looked good. A lot of people didn't know how he was going to play, but he brought it, man. Mm-hmm. So kudos to him and the team for getting this W. The defense played lights out. So they're rolling into the Super Bowl with some momentum.
And Danny, running into the second game, the AFC Championship game, in where the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills go at it yet again. And let me just say that this was an interesting game. The first game, Eagles Commanders, that was a 55-23 ball game. So not very competitive once you got into the third quarter, into the fourth. But this game was completely different. The Chiefs prevailed 32-29. Buffalo had a shot at the very end, man. The score was 32-29. The ball was in Josh Allen's hands and couldn't convert. Patrick Mahomes, 18 for 26, 245 yards, one touchdown, no interceptions. Had two rushing touchdowns. Rushed the ball 11 times for 43 yards. And Kareem Hunt, 17 rushes for 64 yards, a touchdown. Xavier Worthy, man, was just amazing. 6 receptions, 85 yards, a touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster caught the ball at a critical time, 2 receptions for 60 yards, targeted 3 times. Hollywood Brown, 3 receptions, 35 yards, targeted 5 times. Josh Allen, 22 for 34, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I think, when the game first started, there was several times in where the ball could have been intercepted by the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Maybe with some nerves on Josh Allen's parts or just some jittery. He seemed to have calmed down through the running game. James Cook, 13 carries for 85 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think he calmed the team down, especially in the second half. It was just a lot of critical plays. One play was, when the Buffalo Bills they went for it on fourth down and 1, maybe inches, and they didn't get the first down, or it was called that they didn't get the first down. Turned the ball over to Kansas City. The critical play to me, Danny, was the very end. Buffalo driving. Josh Allen gets the ball. Kansas City defense rushes him, and they basically almost gets him. He scrambles. He ultimately just launches the ball and unsuccessfully incompleted pass, and it hit the receiver's arms. It would have been a first down. Could have continued the drive. Possibly, it would be in field goal range at that point in time. Could have tied it. Could have gone in overtime. That wasn't the case this time, man. And I had a feeling Kansas City was going to win this game, but I was thinking too, though, Buffalo may have something, may have that secret sauce, may have the ingredients for the secret sauce of the Kansas City Chiefs, and that just wasn't the case, man. It's hard to go against, Patrick Mahomes and his dominance, and just the fact that, Kansas City just wins, man. I think Josh Allen put it best. To be the champs, you got to beat the champs, and they just didn't do it. What say you, Danny, about this Kansas City Buffalo Bills game?
Yeah, Jay, there are a couple other sequences here or moments in this game too, where Buffalo went for the 2-point conversion and got stopped. Everyone's, Chiefs, the referees, things like that. But there are moments in these games that people overlook that Buffalo didn't take advantage of. And they had Kansas City where they wanted them. They held Travis Kelce to 2 catches for 19 yards. The defense did what they had to as far as Kelce was concerned, but Chiefs made plays, man, and that's what happens, and Buffalo didn't. Kincaid, I know it's a big moment, and, the ball coming the way it was, but he has to make that catch.
You got to make that catch, man.
Yeah, I know it's easier said than done from the couch, but
catch.
It wasn't like it was flying over his head or something. It was like Josh Allen actually put it on him.
Falling back. It was a great
Yes.
It was a great pass. I mean, it hit him right in the hands, in the arms. Yeah, catch that, man.
Because Kansas City actually got caught sleeping because they went on an all-out blitz.
Yeah.
But they had busted coverage in the back end, which Kincaid was wide open. So it was a heck of a play by Josh Allen because he hit Mac Hollins on a couple deep passes. One was a touchdown before half, which was huge. But I think it was James Cook who had a great game, and that one touchdown he got in. where it was fourth down and he
Yeah.
got hit and spun around
Hmm.
and he reached. Man, he wanted it. So it was a good game, and Kansas City goes on. But all in all, man, great game, very intriguing, and once again, it comes down to the end between Buffalo and Kansas City, and Kansas City prevails.
Is this Josh Allen's fault?
I can't really say that because the defense, it's a team effort, and the
Hmm.
defense didn't make some stops, some key stops.
Hmm.
So I think I can't put it all on him. I know, like you said, he did start off a little shaky, but like on that tush push or whatever you want to call it on the fourth down where they didn't make it, or the
Hmm.
controversial call of if he got over or not, that's on the scheme, man. If you look at the play, two of the dudes fell that was supposed to push him, and Josh Allen is a big dude.
Hmm.
So if you're gonna do something like that, man, you got to have the play set up right, and it just there are I think some execution blunders in this game. So I think it doesn't fall all on him. I think some of
Yeah.
this has to fall on McDermott as the head coach,
Hmm.
and then the defense in some cases because they did give up 32 points.
I think, you have to look at the makeup of your team.
Mm-hmm.
You really do. And I'm just trying to figure out where does Buffalo Bills go from here, in terms of improving their team. Let me ask you this, Danny. Do you think that if the Bills had Stephon Diggs still, you think that would have made a difference in this game?
When Mac Hollins is your number one receiver in a game,
And who played good? Who played well?
I'm not knocking him at all. I'm just saying he's more of a role player,
Hmm.
and he makes because he played with Atlanta, and I like Mac Hollins because he can make those gritty catches
Hmm.
or contested catches. He made two great catches yesterday,
Hmm. Hmm.
but he's not a number one.
Number one, yeah.
So I definitely think Steph Diggs makes a difference.
Hmm. Hmm.
To say they win, you just don't know, but because they got to play the game. But obviously they needed somebody else on the offensive side of the ball, you know. But they did put up 29 points
They
too.
put up 29 points,
That's why I'm pointing my finger more at the defense.
and here's the thing though, Danny, they had a chance to win the game. The
Yes.
ball was in his hand when it was in their hands.
Mm-hmm.
The ball was in their hands, man. When you think about the time of possession, it's this about equal. The Bills had the ball for 30 minutes, 32 seconds. The Chiefs had the ball for 29 minutes, 28 seconds. You can't get more even than that with time of possession of the ball.
Yep.
I was kind of pulling for the Bills because just the aura, just the stench of the Buffalo Bills in the fourth Super Bowl
Mm-hmm.
appearances in a row and not getting over the hump. And I'm pretty certain for Bills Mafia, they wanted to see Super Bowl seasons of past, be done. They wanted a new, fresh story to tell of their team going into the Super Bowl, and that's just not happening this year. I wanted them to get over the hump. Kansas City was not, fully there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in terms of their team is not fully strong. We kept saying that week after week. What did they do? They kept winning.
Yep.
They just found a way to win. It didn't have to be pretty. As long as they had one more point than you did, that's all
Exactly.
that mattered.
And keep play calling, Jason. They made some great calls on third and fourth. They went
Mm-hmm.
for it on fourth down
Mm-hmm.
on those plays with Mahomes rolling out, and so kudos to Andy Reid too, man.
If there's anybody who I'm happy for is Andy Reid
Mm-hmm.
because of he started with Green Bay,
Mm-hmm.
but then he went to Philly, did his thing. Philly helped Mike Vick out.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the Super Bowl, Donovan McNabb. Went to all those NFC Championships games with Donovan McNabb. Got over the hump finally. Got to the Super Bowl. They didn't win, but that was a close Super Bowl too. Terrell Owens busted his
Mm-hmm.
leg, came back in time for the Super Bowl, had an impressive, outing. And then Andy Reid goes to Kansas City, and the rest as they say, is history.
Yep.
Now he has the opportunity to become the head coach of a three-peat. I know Pat Riley trademarked that, so I want to make
Hmm.
sure we indicate that. Give him credit where credit is due. But man, if there's anybody I'm happy for, it is Andy Reid. But I'm going to make an early prediction, Danny.
Okay.
My early Super Bowl prediction is that the Philadelphia Eagles will win this game. The reason why I say that is because in looking at just the offensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles, the offensive line is massive.
Hmm.
And for them to have a 2,000-yard rusher, I can see that this offensive line kind of pushed the Kansas City D line around a little bit. There's going to be moments.
Hmm.
I think it's going to take a little bit of time, though, for Philadelphia to get the run game going, because I think Kansas City is going to be so gung ho on trying to get and stop Saquon
Yep.
that they'll run it a few times. They'll stop Saquon. They'll make some adjustments. Probably have Jalen Hurts roll out a little bit here and there. Think about what happened in the last Super Bowl
Yep.
when these two teams met. 38-35,
Yep.
a close game, and where the Eagles had more yards, 417 to 340, had more passing yards, didn't have as many rushing yards. The time of possession in that game, 35 minutes, 47 seconds for Philadelphia, 24 minutes, 13 seconds for Kansas City. Only one turnover, fumble lost by the Philadelphia Eagles, 2 sacks allowed by the Philadelphia Eagles, and 2 punts each. But the Eagles had more offensive plays, 72 to 53, and yet Kansas City still won.
Yep.
I think the difference here is the dynamics of Saquon Barkley. I think what you have now is 2 weeks of time to prepare for some additional plays. Maybe have Saquon come out the backfield, catch short passes that would equate to a run instead of having a full run game.
Hmm.
You can bring this gives Jalen Hurts time to heal
Yep.
even more. 2 weeks, that's a long time.
Yep.
So this is going to be another good one. This is going to be another good one, Danny.
Yep.
This one's going to go. I think it's going to go down to the wire.
Hmm.
I would like to see Saquon get one.
Yeah.
I mean, he seems to be a genuinely good guy. He does things the right way, and I want him to stick it to the Giants. Giants, how in the world could y'all let Saquon go, man? Are you kidding me? And so
Yep.
all throughout the day, man, I'm seeing stuff on social media how the GM of the Giants call Saquon and say, "Hey, go ahead and test the market. We want you to come back, but feel free to test the market. Come back with your best price, and we can settle up." Basically, the Giants GM, I just don't understand how you could let Saquon go. And Danny, I'm picking the Philadelphia Eagles in a close game.
Hmm.
I do believe Travis Kelce would have a good game on this one. But you're also talking about this is what the number one rated defense in the league in Philadelphia.
Hmm.
And that offensive line. That's my early prediction. Who you got, Danny?
Jason, it's tough, man, to pick against the Eagles. It is tough, man. They have everything in their favor, from my perspective. I think they have everything going for them, like you said, in the trenches. This is tough, man.
It's a tough one, man.
I think the difference is between Jalen Hurts and Mahomes and who makes the mistake. Because we've seen plenty of Super Bowls. We've seen the Chiefs in there a lot
Mm-hmm.
where they kind of slowly, methodically go through the game.
Mm-hmm.
But does Philadelphia take advantage of that and put it on them right off the bat. That's where I think Philly, if they don't jump on them right away, I think Kansas City wins. So right now, I know we got a show before the Super Bowl. I'm going to go with Kansas City going for the three-peat on an upset. And they're a favorite. I think it's an upset. Honestly, I don't know how. I guess because it's Kansas City, they're going. I think they're like a 1.5 or something right now on the sports books.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking Kansas City, just based on the three-peat.
It's gonna be an ugly game on Kansas City's part. I think they want to make it ugly.
Yes, they have to.
To your point, I mean, they got Devontae Smith on Philadelphia's side. He played in the last Super Bowl against this team. They're going to be familiar with one another. I mean, personnel, yeah, it changed, of course, with Saquon and A.J. Brown. But, I mean, for the most part, you got the same people.
Yeah. No, they know each other. So,
yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at. This is one I'm looking forward to, man.
And see, and the fact that it's hard to pick is an indication this is going to be a good game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good Super Bowl. And Danny, real quickly, in the NBA, we have news of Jimmy Butler getting suspended yet again, but this time it is indefinitely. Mm-hmm. And the trade deadline is a week and a half away. I believe the deadline is February the 6th. This is a whole lot going on in Miami, man. Mm-hmm. With Jimmy Butler, Pat Riley, the organization. And I think they're just, got fed up. Reports are that Jimmy went to practice. Miami let him know that he's going to be coming off the bench, and then he just decided to walk out. I don't know just how true the reports are. We're just, getting, reporting what has been reported. Mm-hmm. And if this is the case, man, I don't know if you're an organization. I don't know what you would do at this juncture. I don't know how much the Heat are going to get in return for Jimmy at this juncture.
Yeah.
And would you just trade him, just get rid of the headache? What say you, Danny, about this fiasco, this situation down in Miami with Jimmy Butler?
It doesn't surprise me. He's done this everywhere he's been. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing new here. And from the fact of he wants to get paid, ultimately was what I think the root cause of all this is. The Miami Heat have a point, man. Like, he's aging. He doesn't play a lot in the regular season. Mm-mm. He sits out a lot. And it's unfortunate, man. I wish they could have handled this behind closed doors earlier. Mm-hmm. And now it's in the public. So, yeah, Miami's over a barrel, so to speak, because mm-hmm. everyone knows that he wants to leave. But mm-hmm. in the past, he's been able to get moved. So somebody's going to take him. But then if they do take him, they got to understand he's going to pull the same thing if you don't give him an extension.
Right. He's going to opt into his $52 million deal for that 1 year. And then what?
Yeah. So what are you giving up?
You're going to have to deal with Jimmy for that full year.
Yep.
You're going to have to deal with the headache. And you can't trade him. Nobody's gonna take on that $52 million contract.
So
I think it all started when Coach Riley or Pat Riley said, "Hey, if you're not playing, keep your mouth shut." Yep. And he was right. You can't be talking. It's the playoffs, and you're not even playing. What you talking about? I think that's where it started.
You're right, because you're exactly right. Because after that point, he's been rogue.
Yeah.
And upset. So this is his latest thing, and I don't know. I just hope the Bucks don't make that move.
Thank you for joining us at Back Porch Talk Podcast. You can also join us on Twitter by tweeting us at @back_podcast. For more information, you can go to our website, which is backporchtalkpodcast.com. You can also email us at backporchtalkpodcast@gmail.com. Again, thank you for joining us, and remember that there's enough hate in the world, so go ahead and spread a little love.